everyone. Welcome to Eating Greens Meatless Monday. I'm PJ with ZooFit, and today we have a bit of an inception recipe. We have two recipes that we've used before, our vegan mozzarella and our portobello bacon, that we're going to use in a new recipe, our spinach artichoke dip. And then I'm also going to give you some tips on what you can use the spinach artichoke dip with, such as for our dinner tonight is going to be spinach artichoke dip, sweet potatoes, but you can also use it as for crackers or for vegetable, as a vegetable dip too. So today, go ahead and get started with it's definitely animal friendly. It's also gluten free, so it's paleo, and the spinach artichoke dip itself is keto approved as well. So again, a delicious dip, a wonderful treat for Meatless Monday, but also very healthy for us and a great way to kickstart the week on an eating green. Okay, so the spinach artichoke dip itself is pretty simple. All we're going to need is one bunch of spinach. I'm using fresh spinach. You can use bagged or even frozen if that's what you truly prefer. I'm a fresh girl myself, only because you may have heard me mention this a couple times, I abhor plastic. So I do get the fresh lettuce, or fresh spinach, and this also happens to be locally grown too, so I love supporting our local farmers. We're going to need a can of quartered artichoke hearts, and then for the other recipes, we're going to be needing a batch of the vegan mozzarella. I'm going to remind you that vegan mozzarella does not taste like mozzarella. It's just often used as a replacement for mozzarella in a lot of dishes, such as spinach artichoke dip. And we're going to need some of our portobello bacon. So I actually have it cooling off. It just came out of the oven. I have its representative here. Our batch of our portobello bacon, and then some vegan Parmesan as well that we've homemade. So again, a little bit of an inception recipe here. We've done portobello bacon, vegan Parmesan, and vegan mozzarella, but we're going to put this all together to create a great vegan spinach artichoke dip. Our first order of business is to prep the ingredients. So I've already done this with the spinach, but you're going to chop it and then rinse it really well, especially again if it's fresh and organic. You want to get some of that dirt off and cut into a little bit smaller pieces. So rinse and cut and drain the spinach, and go ahead and place it in a very large pot. The next thing we're going to do is going to be cutting up the artichokes. So even though they are quartered, we're going to be cutting them into slightly smaller pieces and then adding them to the pot too. So we add the artichokes to the pot, and then we're also going to be adding the entire batch of the vegan cheese. If you want to use a little bit less, I do enjoy this cheese quite a bit. So if you do want to use a little less, you can use half of it. But again, I want a really, really cheesy spinach artichoke dip, so I'm going to use my whole batch. Alright, so I have my vegan mozzarella, my spinach, and my artichokes in the larger pot, and I'm going to then, at this point, I'm starting to mix it already, but I'm going to turn the stovetop onto medium and then stirring it around, getting the ingredients well mixed, and then we're going to be popping the oven. So this is going to take a very long time. At this point, you can go ahead and turn on the oven to 350 degrees and let it start kind of preheating at this point, because this part will not take very long. Now, I've said in the past, a great way to eat green, even without your ingredients, is to simply conserve energy while you're cooking. And so this is a great way. So instead of setting the oven way well before that you're ready to use it, it's actually using a lot of energy to heat up the oven. You can use the time it's heating up the oven to cook your food a little bit. So you do need to adjust your cooking times just a little bit. But again, this passive cooking, this cooking while it's heating up, and even turning the oven off before it's actually ready, are great ways to conserve energy, eat green, without even doing anything else with your ingredients or your eating habits. You're going to cook your spinach and artichoke mixture on the stove for about 5 to 7 minutes until the spinach is just wilted and over medium heat. Then you can turn your stovetop off and prepare to put it into the oven. So I've got a glass, a bakeware, square baking dish, and you can brush it with a little bit of olive oil to keep it from sticking. And then just transfer the spinach artichoke cheese mixture into the baking dish. So once you have your spinach artichoke mixture into the baking sheet, you can even it out with a spatula or a spoon. And then you're going to get your vegan bacon, your Portobello bacon, and go ahead and place the entire batch, sprinkle it over on top. And we have one more ingredient, and that is our Parmesan, our vegan Parmesan. Got this. I'm going to put a couple of tablespoons on top. Just kind of sprinkle it over. And now you are ready to place the baking dish, the spinach artichoke dip, into the oven. Set your timer for 15 minutes, and then you'll have a warm, delicious spinach artichoke dip ready for vegetables, crackers, or how we're going to prepare it for tonight, our dinner of spinach artichoke dip, sweet potatoes. All right, our timer just went off, so our spinach artichoke dip is ready. You can pull it out of the oven. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be using this today to create our dinner with spinach artichoke sweet potatoes. So I have 2 sweet potatoes in the crock pot. Again, another tool, again, great for green eating, eco eating, is to have a crock pot so you can, again, condensing that heat. So cutting a few slits into the sweet potato, covering it about halfway with some water, and turning it on low for about 4 to 6 hours. That'll soften up and cook your sweet potatoes perfectly. You don't have to be here for it, so if you need to go out and run some errands or go to work, this is a great option for you. I put a couple of sweet potatoes in, turn it on, and you are almost ready to eat as soon as you get home. All you have to do is split them in half, put the spinach artichoke on top, and voila, you got yourself a great meatless Monday meal. Great way to kickstart our week for eating green, taking care of ourselves, and also taking care of the planet. Thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed the recipe. Let me know what you think. Remember to eat clean, live green, train positive.